Hey, welcome back. We have an exciting one here today. I have to say that this is probably the most requested pen I have ever been asked to review. I found one on the secondary market. I don't really follow this brand, so I don't know how you get one if you don't buy it on the secondary market. I guess they have drop days or something like that. Anyway, we have the Fellhoelter TiCkler, TiCkler in here somewhere. This thing looks to be well taped inside the box. It's funny because I was looking at this and I was like, you really need to tape across here because this box came a little squished, but this person took an alternative route and did the deep taping inside of the box. So let me get in here and extract this thing. My goodness. Like open heart surgery over here. All right, the Fellhoelter, apparently these come in a little plastic container. Nothing too crazy there. This actually says Tide bolt on it. I don't know if he just uses that same container for all of his different things. And then there it is. This one is the spiral fluted model. And this is a prototype. It's from the second run of the prototypes. These are now in production, but let's see what we think. Okay, everyone's been talking about how satisfying that is. By the way, I took some damage to the hand, so excuse that during the videos. Yeah, I would agree. That is very satisfying mechanism. Curious how easy that is to get off of there. Does not seem to be very easy to get off of there. This appears to be a full size, but let's just double check. No, Parker size. So that's interesting. It's a big pen for a Parker size. Let's put this in perspective. I'm going to grab a full-size Nottingham. And those are almost the same size. So this is a G2 and this is a Parker, if I saw that right. That is pretty wild. How does this thing have a... Now I'm kind of curious. What did I just see there? Have like a spacer in it or something? Why is it so big? I wonder if that mech's just really long. The action's good. The cool thing with bolt pens is with clicker pens, unlike bolt pens, they're not super sensitive to spring pressure, so you can load them up with quite a bit of pressure and they just feel good. I think sometimes when companies start with click pens, then they go to bolts, they don't really know that. So I don't really mind the amount of pressure. This is quite a bit of pressure I have to put on here. This could definitely be lighter, but I don't really mind it. Let's bring this over here and do a little test writing. I'm going to probably spell it wrong. It's 2 L's, right? Fellhoelter. He makes sure and writes his name on his pen, doesn't he? Fellhoelter TiCkler, I think is how it's written. Say that on here. It just says Fellhoelter prototype. I do like prototypes. I have to admit, I do like how he does the pro to type. That's kind of fun. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is no tip wiggle. So that's really good. And it's a nice gel version of the Parker. I don't love the pocket clip. That thing is not deep carry and super long. The pocket clip goes all the way down here. To put that in comparison, very similar sized pen. Sorry, nose wasn't even all the way on. That's my bad. Very similar sized pen here. Look where the pocket clip ends on one versus the other. That's crazy. It's like twice as far down the pen. So the good thing about a click pen is you get a lot of room to write with. What else? Fit and finish feels great, as I'd expect. This brand didn't earn the reputation it has for no reason. So that feels really good there. Let me just check this refill because I actually really like it. So it's a Schmidt EasyFlow 9000. It says ISO G2. Am I off on what I'm looking at here? Feels like a gel. Are EasyFlow always like that? I feel like they have two different kinds. This one's like I think it's a gel version. I don't know Parker refills super well, to be honest. The nose, I wonder if the nose can be adjusted or if the body is what needs to be adjusted. I think the body needs to be bigger, if I recall correctly, on these in order to take a larger refill. Interesting how you can't take the mech off easily. I wonder if that is intentional or what. Oh, there is a little, let's mess around with this. If we're gonna have this kind of pen on here, might as well get into it. I think it's probably got like a spring in it, which is why it doesn't want to just have it easily pop off or something like that. I don't know what I'm looking at. This thing's still not coming off here. What is that there for? Well, I don't understand this mech. I'll have to do a little more research on it. A nice machine screw for that mech for sure. I've, between knives and pens, I've probably handled 500 knives and 500 plus knives, 300 plus pens at this point. And that is one of the highest quality machine screws I have seen. So I'll give credit there for sure. I honestly just don't like the what's the right term for it? Like the culture or like the texture of this brand. The just sort of, I don't know, is it arrogance? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say that because I've never met the owner, but it just seems, there seems to be a very high self-worth. We'll just say that. You might say, hey, you kind of sound that way too. And hey, that'd probably be fair. It's all about how we sound. We don't always know exactly what someone's thinking just based on how they behave or what they say. Fit and finish, really nice. So here are the things I look for in a pen. Ergonomics feel really good because you don't have a bolt in the way. Anytime you've got a clicker, that's pretty awesome. Super consistent. Super consistent. Pretty smooth. I think that some people said the first run were a little rough, and I could see how they would be. You wouldn't notice it if you just click it fast, but if you go slowly, there's a little grittiness there, like more than an OG Brad. But this doesn't have the satisfying click at the end. And I do like the fidgetiness of the click. It'll drive people crazy if you do this in an office setting. But it is that kind of classic, like a Bic click. So I do like that. All right, let me get all this other stuff out of here. I know this distracts from my videos. Okay. Very, 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 like almost no tip wiggle. Very impressed there. That might be a keeper for me. I do like some of the other patterns more. I like his dragon pattern more than I like this, but it actually feels kind of cool in hand. It reminds me of the Machine Wise actually in hand. It's a bigger pen. So, oh, this is a great opportunity. Check this out. Movie magic. I did finally get this. People have been asking me for a long time to get some calipers so I can figure out how big things are. Really don't want to damage this while I do it because I'm new to these. So it looks like 0.43. 0.43. So it's pretty thick. Not quite as thick as the Nottingham, I don't think, or am I off on that? Maybe the Nottingham's just as thick. Hang on. It's exactly the same. Same as the Nottingham. What are the associations of these brands? These look like the same exact noses. Are these interchangeable? Now you got me all sorts of curious about what's going on here between these two brands. I know they've done some collabs together. Whoa. Okay, we're all over the place here. Sorry. Get this out of here. The thing writes well. Okay, let's see if we can do this again without messing stuff up. I know they've done some collaborations. I do not understand. No, that looks like a different thread. Yeah, those are not compatible. But man, they are really similar. Like, that's crazy how similar the Nottingham and Fellhoelter noses are. They had to have some sort of collaboration there, right? They're different. This one's a G2, so I can see the difference inside. This one's not bored as deeply, probably to really keep this thing freaking tight. That is impressive how tight that is in there. I am curious about trying a lighter spring because not everyone's going to want that thing to be so strong. Let's try that really quickly. See what we think. This is not one where I'm saying you need to do this because it just doesn't, I don't feel the need to do this, but just for fun while we're here. This is probably like my main go-to spring for most Parker size refills when I'm trying to spring down a little bit. I'm curious if this mech will cycle though with less pressure perfectly. I think a lot of people would probably like that. I think I like it more though with the pressure because you don't feel like the thing about bolt pens and why I'm always springing down my pens is because a lot of them are like actually uncomfortable to actuate repeatedly when they haven't been sprung down. This doesn't feel bad at all. In fact, it just feels better. I like it highly sprung. So no need to do that. Really not even a benefit in my opinion if you do it. So yeah, that thing just feels like a great pen out of box. Solid. You know, $250 for one with this kind of milling, $200 for a plain Jane, you know, no milling like this. But I dare to say I like that mech as much or more than the, I do enjoy that more, but this is a little mushy and no feedback, whereas that's a nice feedback. I don't know. Those are both cool mechs. It's cool. I don't think I have a click pen that I really enjoy like that. Like, I don't think I have a double click pen. I don't think I have a single machined double click pen. Like, I think only ones I have that are like this are like cheap Bic pens and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. Yep, nothing I can complain about. This pen seems great. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people have told me for years to spend more time on Fellhoelter. Again, I guess the one complaint I'd have would be the pocket clip. The crazy thing is you got this like funny bent pocket clip here. Let me see, by the way, is this thing, where's my metal detector? And it's titanium. So you got this crazy bent tie pocket clip, tie screws, tie everything on this pen. Except for probably is the nose not tie? Or is it the refill in there that I'm getting? I think it's the refill I'm getting. And then you got this bent pocket clip, and then you got to go pay money to upgrade that. So, don't love that. That's just, for $250 or $200, it feels like you should get a nicer pocket clip than that. However, then he's got these freaking super nice machine screws. So you give me a bent pocket clip, and I understand this is like one of the most expensive things to CNC or whatever, or lathe. But then these super expensive, nice screws, why are those different sizes? That's weird. That seems weird to me. Wonder why those are different sizes. Maybe to make it like progressive for the finger if it moves up it. That's weird. That's funny though. I find that funny. Anyways, there you go. 15 minutes worth of content on a brand that never really interested me. And a big part of it's that pocket clip. That was like, what the heck? Just never really came together for me because of that pocket clip. But I know you can upgrade them, so that's probably the key. I know I've reviewed one before that had a nice pocket clip on it from our friend Seeking Advice on Reddit. Good dude. Fellhoelter TiCkler. I can't disagree that's not an, can't disagree about this being a nice pen. It is a nice pen for sure. So that is all for now. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.